Alright guys, I take this really seriously. So, what just happened in this Discord channel? I'm gonna explain myself, but I have to explain what happened. I have to prove that Eternity is wrong to even have any chance of getting myself unbanned, earning admin's respect, not Eternity herself. She's just a follower of rules, right? She just has to follow her rules, and she thinks that what I did is harassment, and I disagree. I completely disagree, and I have to defend my character by any means. Leaving Antvenom's Discord is not going to be a big deal. It's just that I have made an investment. So, let's go through the backstory first of how do we even get there into the argument and what actually happened. So, yeah, it really feels like one of those Stefan Molyneux, the truth about Antvenom's Discord. But yeah, there's a bigger truth out there, obviously. There's a lot of very deep concepts in here that we have to discuss. So anyways, the first time I entered Antvenom's Discord it was for me a glimpse of Antvenom was in a voice chat, and he really it went pretty well, but after the voice chat ended, I felt like people were quickly to disrespect Antvenom. They didn't really say, oh, that was so amazing. That was such an amazing exchange. They didn't really respect that. They just talked to a YouTuber, and they have to like think about this experience and really collect themselves. No, it was just kind of disrespect. It's like, oh, he said this bad word, and that is so crazy important to them. Oh, he said fuck in his Discord channel or whatever. He broke his own rule. Isn't that amazing? And yeah, it is sort of important, but it's also like it's disrespectful in a way. It's like, why do you care? Why do you really care? He's a person. He wants to express himself, and he slips. Obviously, it's not like super strict rule that you cannot say bad words. It's just you have to contain yourself to not really harass anyone and make it friendly for everyone, sort of thing. It's a weird thing, but in that context, what I've done is not exactly sort of friendly, but still, it could be the most friendly thing that you could ever get in that context, in a certain context. So you really shouldn't dismiss what I'm doing. Maybe I made mistakes. Maybe. But I know Eternity did way more mistakes than I did. I know she's way more incompetent with how she used her power, absolutely. Because I care about this stuff a lot more than she does. I brought her to this discussion. I made this discussion happen, right? She wouldn't even give a fuck what's going on unless they brought things up. And it started with me speculating about Antvenom's the feeling that he gets, right? He gets a headache, right? He's kind of confused, I think, in what is going on, what to do with this Discord channel, as people are being sort of disrespectful, and even the Unsung himself. There was one time when there was just Ant, Unsung, and me in the chat, which was awkward, and then Unsung proven to be really disrespectful to Ant as well. And Antvenom even called him out as like, you're a little bit of an asshole here. And that was really annoying for me. It's like, wow. Even Unsung himself, he doesn't try and contain himself a little bit. I wanted to protect Anthony on that part, but it was a little bit a confusing part for me. I just thought I was paralyzed at this point, but I wanted to back him up a little bit because Unsung is pretty much an asshole. I'm gonna touch him later on because this is the only guy who I kind of bonded with, and he understands that, me leaving the Discord channel is gonna make things a lot more boring around there. It's kind of like, well, I'm gonna explain exactly what it is. Because this is not about what happened. This is about what I'm working on. My research is how to become a ninja, right? And my experience is very useful here because it's going to reveal how people think and how people abuse their powers and what kind of demons they have inside themselves. I do have my own habits and things that I care about, and some of this is demonic. Even Elon Musk himself in one interview said, in the very end of the interview, if I get over the top crazy, sort of, this is out of context, this is not an exact quote, but that's what he said. Like, if I get out of hand with my ideas, with my things that I care about, please stop me, right? Please say something to stop me. It's such a weird thing to say in the end of the conversation, but yeah, he's not really secure about his stance on what he is doing, and everyone praises Elon Musk, right? It's a weird thing, but you never know when you're just lucky person. You're just playing with your demons, and you are perpetuating something that is evil, and in the end you're going to do something that's evil, that is not supposed to happen in the world, that is not natural. You never know, right? So you have to be stopped. You have to know that. And it's just funny that Elon Musk is somewhat self-aware, but he has to keep on working and helping other people and thinking about his self-esteem. It's a very weird thing. We're gonna get to that in other videos, obviously. So I took Eternity's attention with this subject of, and when I'm feeling disrespect from his fans and getting headaches, that's how I interpreted. He didn't really claim that himself, obviously, but I try to care. I try to look into the pattern and see what people do, right? What people care about. I really look into this stuff so I can understand people a little better. I can have these discussions. I can force people into these discussions where I'm sort of attacking them, but I'm attacking them for a good purpose. I want to know more. I want them to defend themselves. I want to defend what they care about and prove me wrong in certain ways, clarify, right? I earned their respect simply because I care about what they like doing, all this stuff, right? It's very important. It's a very important investment that I do. And, right, investment. Now, so again, we roasted each other, but in the end, she abuses the power that she has as a guardian of the whole place. She can just kick me out. She can just ban me. Right? At the start, I guess she wanted to scare me off, and that sort of worked. But now I just come back, and I thought it was a ban, right? She kicked me out first. I thought it was a ban. And yeah, right, you get banned and you're like, oh shit, I lose so many things, such an investment. And she like wanted to give me like those last words that I can say, and it really took me by surprise. Before she kicked me, I was like, I really need to think about what my last words would be. And I say, well, my project is what I care about. I just reveal what I care about. That's it. Just reveal that part. and I don't care about much else. I just care about my project, right? About my hobby, about what I do. And this thing that I'm doing right now, that's what I care about, the research. And people should know me through this type of work. Because in the end, when I'm alone, when I don't have anyone else to talk to, that's what I do. This is the real me, so to speak. I find myself here. And this is very interesting as well. This is very interesting, is how you find yourself as well. Ugh. The real problem is this 10 minutes. Okay, so the rest 10 minutes, let's dive into the main part. So the main problem is relationships. If people don't create bonds, if people just write trends, you know what's going to happen? The trends quickly die. If they don't get attached to the trends, it's just a meme. It's just something that happens and it passes away. That's what is a trend. You can jump on a trend, you can become popular, you can get attention, you can get experience, all these things. Some people got really successful by jumping on the Minecraft trend. They got really successful, they got really far, they got really lucky, I would say. Right, and again, you're jumping on trends, you're trying to get lucky. But what really is going to make you successful is if you have found something of value, right? You're not just jumped on a trend, but you just found something that you can care about. You have found a project that you can care about. You have found your skill set or a special place for yourself. And that's what really matters. And just like every single other thing, Ants Discord, just as I've heard of it, it died in the past. It actually was more popular in the past than when I jumped on it, when Ant Venom himself promoted his Discord. It actually wasn't that popular anymore afterwards, it's seemingly. Because what I've heard, there are different chat groups, right? So there's a general chat group, but if you are active enough, you get opened up to other levels of chat groups. And now they were not being used anymore. Like there's this hero chat group that is, if the general chat groups get too many people, too much attention, then you go to the hero chat. But I suggested that this purpose of what hero chat is used for, it should evolve into something else, into something useful, right? You don't just put a TV on your somewhere in the house, right, where you dump all the stuff that you don't care about anymore. You don't just buy a drill a few things in, fix a few things in, let's say fix a door or something, and you buy all this equipment to fix a door, and then you shove that equipment and you never use it ever again. That is a waste of things, right? You don't really want to waste things like that. So so I naturally suggest that hero chat is used for something else, right? When things, and one of the useful things that it could be used for is just drama. It's something more personal, right? When people get into this personal debate, people cannot really pitch in and say random things anymore, because that kind of doesn't mix up really well, right? When there's bonding happening, when people try to understand each other, it's really bad when people interrupt for no good reason. So going to a hero chat is just a natural thing that I suggest people would do. You know, they just go somewhere a little bit more private, but where people can still spectate if they really care about it, if they really care of what's going on in this general social pool environment, right? If people bond together, if they create a relationship, that is important. That is newsworthy. People who come around to hang around, they need to know this stuff if they have been invested in the first place. And they need to know what are the news. All right, that's just natural, and that's what I suggested. Maybe I'm a little bit too, you know, too into this, but what happened in the end is I am banned in the hero chat, while in the hero chat. How ironic. And I was trying to explain myself why I go to the hero chat, how this works. Yes, I am sort of creating rules. I'm sort of creating this black market, so to speak, of things, but I'm simply stealing a TV that has not been used ever, right? I'm stealing from the home. It seems like a theft. It seems like above the law, but like I'm actually creating value, which is weird, right? Like, holy shit, how do you understand this process? If someone doesn't use the object anymore, they can always say, well, give it back. And the most interesting part is like, yes, you can always buy unused objects from people, but the moment you bring up an object, it's like, oh shit, they do care about it now. They can sell it to me, right? That's the whole point. We're suffering from capitalism. Just like I've said, the example of like, well, you want to fix the door, you gotta buy drills, you gotta buy those screws, you gotta buy equipment if you want to do stuff in your house, you want to fix things, or there's just something you need equipment for a specific occasion, but then you put that equipment away. What happens in capitalism is that that sort of behavior is embraced, right? People are forced pretty much to buy these things, and people become really, really greedy and really annoying. And this sort of mentality, I think, definitely touched this whole situation, where it's like, well, we're not using it, but you have to buy it from us, right? You have to really, really beg to actually make people use the hero chat. It's like the only thing that would motivate people to move is like if I actually give them real money or something. It's like that's how crazy it is. It's not just like, well, we naturally need more privacy because we're talking about something important. Obviously, there is some of that stuff where I don't really get people's consent, but it's not about people's consent. It's more like people don't really understand. People talk with me and they argue with me, but they don't really understand why they have to move aside from other people, which is like even worse. I mean, not only I am to blame because, oh, I started the whole argument. It's like, wow. It's not about starting the argument. It's like, why is it perpetuating? Why people responding to me? Why people care so much to defend themselves? Like, obviously, we know why. Because it's personal to them. But they don't understand why they have to step aside, because they have deep down inside, they're so greedy. They want everyone's attention. They're the ones actually creating the bad side of the drama, not me. They just don't know how to handle this properly. And I say, let's go to the hero chat. And in a way, I mean, I was strict, sort of, to do a little bit of drama, and too much drama in general chat. I should just shut the fuck up at this point, because I know better. But I was strict because, it's like, well, people constantly say, well, let's just argue here, who cares, right? Yeah, and in the end I just got in trouble, right? That's how it works. So I do blame a little bit myself about it, because I could have thought better, but obviously I don't know the stuff that well. It's not in the rules. It's not properly explained. When Eternity came, she made the most ironic move, is abuse her powers. It's like what I did in the past is like, that's something that she can abuse now. Because, these things happened. A bunch of drama has been dumped on the general chat group, when she said like, "Oh, now you have proven yourself wrong." After I explained everything to her, after like I explained everything, and she's like, "Oh, so you did broke the rules, and I do have to put you in jail for this shit." It's like, whoa. It's like going to a police station and being like, "Well, you can put me in jail because I stole that candy from the guy." It's like they're gonna listen to you. Yeah, I stole that candy, but it's not. It's not like that. It's like she's just around. She's like, "Oh, well, this guy's annoying. Maybe he's gonna like give himself up. So let's talk to him, right?" And I did. I didn't thought she's gonna act like a policeman and fucking kick my ass for this shit. I didn't thought that she's gonna abuse her power, right? But I kind of let her do that. Like, okay, abuse your power, fine. If that's the police that we have around here, if that's how you're gonna treat the black market, fine. Which is very weird. It kind of brings back this UK insanity, this trafficking of children. What if these children are not being used? So they're instead used for sex, which is the darkest thing ever. I know. But what if, right? I have to look into the patterns. And this is such a weird pattern, but like, what if? They're not just, these children are kind of manipulated into these things because they're not being used, they're not being protected for better or for worse. I mean, seriously. It's not like these children are being kidnapped or something. They have to be stalked, and if there is no protection, they will eventually be kidnapped. And like, you can still protect your child. I mean, seriously. So I don't understand what the situation is with that, but this really gives an insight to that as well, which is scary. I mean, it gives so many insights of what I'm interested in, which is this whole topic of personal demons. It's like, whoa, holy crap. So yeah, that's her personality. She feels like, oh, I'm a policeman, and I'm gonna infiltrate this guy who talks a lot. And I'm gonna figure out what's going on, and gonna incriminate him, and just kind of destroy the whole reputation of Anne's Discord. Because I was the person who was trying to bring life to the whole thing. Bring life. Even if you don't like it, we'll just step aside. See what happens if people are really disgusted by this behavior. And yes, some people are, but they just don't participate. They just don't participate. They try not to care what's going on. They try not to care. Some people, like Unsong, constantly says, well, he's calling me this and that, but, well, he cannot defend himself right now, so let's not talk about that. Because he always wants me to be a spectacle. But in a way, this is a weird relationship, and this is the conclusion. Again, I've drawn the conclusion that this is bullshit. All of this is just fucking garbage. And I'm correct. That's the conclusion, right? I feel good about myself. I'm gonna move on to do other things. But this is a great experience to have for me. And I made an investment. I will come back if I get unbanned. Why not, right? I'll have fun with that. But this is just stupid. This is just stupid. The most stupid part is like, I respect Ant Venom, right? I respect for what he does. I try to understand him as best as I can. I try to research him. You might not like that necessarily, but like, I respect him for who he is, and I try to understand. I try to respect him even more. Try to create these staircase towards Ant Venom in the end, and be like, oh, hey guys, no Ant Venom. Oh shit, what am I even talking about? What am I gonna make a pun out of Ant Venom's intro, like he always does? Ugh. anyways, yeah, I mean, I respect the whole thing because like he chose to make the Discord and I used that Discord for something, and I had hopes that maybe he will care about my project or something. You never know. So try to do different things here and there. Try to earn respect. Try to figure out what the hell is going on. That's another thing. And in the end, he has to decide because he makes the rules with his co-editor and other admins if they matter at all. So they have to figure out. Because being a policeman is not really a lawmaker, or it's not about lawyer. What is that? What is that guy that sits on the top of everything, who decides whether you go to jail or not? It's a judge, right? So I have to be yet judged by the real people, right? Whether I respect them or not, it's up to them, really. But if Anne's Discord is dead and he doesn't catch up to the fact that some prominent figure has been banned, if they don't really care, like, yeah, that's even worse. Because like, well, you don't actually care about your Discord channel, do you? Don't care if people get banned for the right reasons or not, because you have to monitor as an admin. You have to monitor who gets banned and why. Like, really, especially if those people have earned experience points. Like, seriously, when someone becomes annoying, they probably have created a new account or just stepped into the Discord and they don't know the rules and what's going on. But if someone with a higher rank who has been around for a few weeks has been banned, that has to be looked into by any means. And if admins don't care to look into this, then that's even worse. I want nothing to do with this fucking channel, and I don't respect Antonym at that point at all. Because if he doesn't want to create a community, he doesn't deserve actual respect in a way. And he just got lucky, right? In the end, it goes down to Antvenom to figure this shit out. Yep. So that's a lot has been said, right? Just like a heads up, fun fact, a chill moment. This video is longer than you would expect, right? But a fun fact would be that Unsong has this right personality. He's the only guy that I actually made a relationship with in the social pool, but I always try to push that relationship aside because I don't like this relationship. This is not a relationship. This is more like he likes to be abused type of thing. He likes to be labeled a certain way. And I labeled him as a robot vampire or whatever. More of a vampire because that's kind of what his personality is. And it's not necessarily a negative thing. Being a vampire that doesn't mean that you use your powers to suck other people's blood like an active vampire, but you can still be a good vampire and kill the bad guys instead of the good guys. Like, you kind of still have to expand the definition. You can't just be like, oh, he called me a vampire, and that is really offensive. Well, you kind of have the effort to turn things around and be a wonderful vampire that you can be proud of yourself. And totally, right? It's like, whatever, I labeled you a certain way, but that doesn't mean anything. So that's kind of like a heads up. But these demons, they can abuse each other, and the way it works is very interesting. It's like, I want to be abused. I want to give something of myself, my self-esteem, and give to another person so they can do whatever they want. because they clearly do a better job. So weird. This is why he's constantly bringing that up. It's like, well, Gurnex said that I'm this, and so, and you make up your own mind, but he did that. Oh my god, he did that. He said that I'm a vampire. Isn't that amazing, right? And in a way, I take it somewhat negatively. But now I'm starting to understand how it all works, kind of. So, very interesting. Again, this abuse is like, your personality type is specifically triggered for you to feel like you're giving something that I can use, right? That you're full of yourself and you love to be abused, so you can shut the fuck up. It's a very weird thing that I'm gonna discuss in the future. Can't seem to do it right now. A lot has been said. But holy shit. A lot is left too. See you guys next time.